And we are live. Welcome everyone to the Crypto Herd. Also, welcome everyone that's watching this on replay. We're going to do our AMA about Undead Blocks Open Beta with the founder himself, Grant Haseley. Welcome to the stream. And also George as a guest from Crypto Fight Club. Guys, really happy once again to have you here with us. How are you feeling today?
Feeling good, man. Feeling good. I need to find where you are because I can hear our stream again.
Bruno, always a pleasure being on your show. Thanks for having me once again.
Yeah, so Undead Blocks. I mean, you guys reached a milestone recently, which is the open beta. Do you want to comment on that, Grant?
Well, if you haven't downloaded, you should definitely give it a try. I know George and Bruno have been playing it extensively, and from our perspective, we are firing on all cylinders. We've got a lot of different communities, different NFT groups playing the game now. And from our perspective, we're almost about at 5,000 Wagyu.io accounts. And just having the beta release 4 days ago, I think that's a huge step forward for us. We're just going to continue to spread the good word, and we're going to have some more giveaways and challenges as we go through the month of June as we march towards our first competitive tournament at $40,000 speedrunning competition. But from our perspective, we're in a really great spot. We do have some things to clean up, some small glitches here. Within 3 hours, somebody found a way onto somebody found their way onto the roof of the houses, which was a surprise. But that stuff is always going to happen. And from our perspective, in play to earn, the community is so underserved. Just giving them something to play and working towards a very stable ecosystem with what we have in our tokenomics, we're poised to really make this an undead summer. So happy to go into all of it, but really loving where we are at right now.
That's right, and then that summer. And we also have the first perks for the NFT holders, right? We have some sort of Easter eggs. Do you want to tell us a bit about that?
Yeah, so you actually can, people love Easter eggs and zombie shooters, and we put a small one in there for, our fans out there to give them a glimpse of what's to come with the storyline. So we're building a full storyline in. The horde is not going away anytime soon, and all of our characters are in this neighborhood for something. We're going to touch on the story more when the full game goes live, but just having those little features in there, it doesn't really feel like it's a play to earn game. It's more of a story mode concept. We want this to be engaging, and we want people to even forget that they're earning at times. So, it was really cool to see the first, couple of explorers really find out how to, solve that and put it on YouTube. And there's definitely going to be a lot more coming down the pipeline in terms of that kind of content.
That's cool. So, guys, welcome everyone that is watching the stream right now. Brenna Harris, welcome. The Undead Chat, KG, and McLight. Guys, welcome to the stream. Hit that like button, subscribe, because this week we're going to be streaming Undead Blocks Open Beta, so don't miss it. So, Grant, do you think that the Open Beta had like an impact on the demand for NFTs, for the Apocalypse Collection? Do you feel like more people are staking now that they can actually try the game?
We did see an increase in stake to mint activity when the full beta was launched, and we're still moving through a bear market, but we are seeing considerable volume not only on Gate but as well as on Uniswap. And from our perspective, that's really just key to play the defense right now. Like, we're not expecting large variations in terms of price movement from our NFTs. They're still holding strong compared to a lot of other play to earn projects. But we are in more of a defensive mode. And I think once people can physically start earning, when we offer that first $40,000 pistol speedrun competition and people can put their NFTs to work, people can stake to mint an NFT and put it to work, I think you're going to see an uptick in not only, activity on Twitter or other socials, but, some price movement in terms of, the NFTs and the token itself.
So how's this tournament going to work? It's going to be like pistol showdown, right? So you're going to be able to play only with your pistol or something?
So everyone that has an NFT can play. And so you're only going to have a pistol and knife. Right now, the weapons that you have in your pack are not going to be applicable. Just getting an NFT gives you a seat at the table. That's for the first tournament. And so once we do run that small tournament, it's going to be about 2,000 people that play based on how many holders we currently have. we are going to be doing a free to the public tournament sponsored by PokeStarter and PokeStarter Gaming. And so that will be anyone. So I know, George, for example, you could have everyone in your community download our beta, get on and play, and we're going to have the rewards sponsored by a Web3 Titan. And that's really what we want to do throughout the rest of the summer, where we have these free to the public tournaments where they're sort of marketing events where they can come in and try out our game, and maybe they'll earn a little bit. But we want them to feel the future of play to earn in front of them. And we think they're going to be really, positive community events where we can really spread the word and show people the power of what we're doing. But when the full game goes live, yeah, those NFT holders will be able to use all of the weapons they have in their arsenal. For now, we're just keeping it simple for them, still trying to test out the mechanics, make sure everything is smooth before we continue scaling up.
Okay, that's cool. So George, you also tried Undead Blocks, right? What's your take on this?
Yeah, I'm quite surprised for you to tell me that it came out on beta 4 days ago, because I'm pretty certain I've got over 15 to 20 hours in your game already. And I thought
sounds like George, the time in Hawaii goes much slower for him than to everybody else. So.
Yeah, it must be, man. I've completed only gun runs on every single weapon you've got available at the moment, except for the knife. I didn't manage to do a full knife 5-round run, but I've managed to do it for every other one you've got so far. And I'm definitely like that person that found a way onto the roof, except I didn't manage to find a way onto the roof. I only managed to find a way to be 2 levels higher than how the person stands, but I've been getting in there as well. And the point you made of getting people in to play for free as well, just to test out your game as a marketing thing, that is a fantastic idea. All the NFT games I try, if they've got a guest mode or anything like that, awesome. That made me get our CFO to actually buy me an assassin pack for Undead Blocks as well. So now I've got one of your NFTs because I got to try it for free.
I salute you, King George, and you're right. I mean, look, nobody's buying a car without test driving it. Like, we can't just arbitrarily assign value to things without people actually physically being able to try the tangible assets out themselves. And I do think the next step is physically being able to use that asset and earn. It is a utility NFT more so than a collectible. And so we have to give it utility. And that's what just really motivates us every day, is just continue grinding the ecosystem. Today, we just released a snapshot of our WAG UI, where you're going to be able to take those gold ZBux you earn in June and cash them out for Ethereum, BNB, Undead. I think Matic was also one of those tokens that we're going to be offering, and just making sure that technology works. So stuff like that is important for people to see. Like, yeah, we're quote unquote in a bear market, but that has no hindrance on what Undead Blocks is doing. If anything, we have a massive advantage, because a lot of people just packed it in. They said, fuck it, I'm done. Like, no, not right now. And we're still moving full speed ahead, and we're ready for a crash course this summer, I'm telling you.
That's right. So actually, I'm glad you touched on the tokenomics, because I don't know if you're aware, but if Undead Blocks actually makes it, which I think there's a high chance for that because gameplay is really good, you guys could be like triggering a new model in NFT gaming, because I think the tokenomics you have with the peg token, no other project has this.
No, they don't. And I think they will. I think people will look at the in-game stable reward that we're offering and saying, this is the way. Not everything needs to be on chain. These secondary currencies are just getting mutilated across the industry on these open markets, where people are just considerably dumping their assets because they want to just get the cash in hand. We get that. So that's why you physically can't interact with anyone else other than Wagyu Games for these gold ZBucks that you're going to be fighting for every day. Because if you could immediately just sell, and flip for other stuff, we get that. And so from our perspective, Bruno, it's, how do we generate revenue? How do we use it to pay players instead of paying executives, paying ourselves, paying a board of directors? How do we compensate our players with this outside revenue that we're able to generate? And as we offer more free-to-play events, that increases the amount of Wagyu accounts and increases more interest in the game. We can scale. We can use the power of leverage to show potential investors. We have a community of, we'd like to get to 50,000 Wagyu accounts, and then you can advertise to these people in these free-to-play events, and that can generate serious revenue for us. We don't want to spend a dime that we don't have to. If we can have these advertisers come in, sponsor these tournaments, Bruno's a big soccer guy. I'm sure he watched the Champions League final. How many advertising for Lace all around this arena, you know, from Gazprom, Coca-Cola, all these other huge companies that are sponsoring just to get their name at a really popular event. We want to do the exact same thing with Undead Blocks, and we're well on our way to accomplishing that goal.
So where are the ads going to show up? Are they going to be inside the map or something? Like
it'll be in the map, like the posters. There'll be weapon skins, cosmetics on the actual players, like their shirts, maybe their pants, character skins themselves. And then in like the lobby on the UI, there's a little space up at the top right that we've reserved for, you know, NFT projects to announce when they're minting, or, you know, a coin when it's dropping, stuff like that. And even just in the loading time from, you know, when you click play, that's another area where we could put potentially some advertisers in there. But we don't want to waste any space. We also don't want to make this feel like it's an ad fest where you're just watching these little videos and you're like, what the fuck am I doing? Like, we don't want people to feel like they're being advertised to, like you're at a soccer game where it's, you know, just part of the experience. It's part of the game. And that's the vibe we're going for. It's tricky. It'll be tough for us to maneuver that, but that is how we're going to thrive and grow exponentially, is generate revenue, use it to pay our players.
Maybe we could have like the crypto herd skin on an M4 or something.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, even we have our perks, right? Why not recruit to energy drinks or different drinks in you know, Web 2? Doesn't even have to be Web 3 companies. Web 2 companies can come in and stake their claim. We have a bus in our map. Why can't we put like a FedEx logo on that, or just stuff like that to really just make sure no space is wasted? And we're also building something that is fun. I truly believe the reason why these Web 2 companies are so hot in the metaverse is not because they believe in the metaverse. It's because it's another way to advertise and get their name out there and their product out to people. So we know that. I know that. It's just a matter of making sure that we can stake our claim. We do it successful and we make it fun.
That's really interesting. That's a unique approach. I've never seen anything like this in NFT gaming so far. So we have here some new viewers: Ozita, Primus Next, Kyle Migia, Willius, Brina Harris, and Anthony Young. Welcome to the stream, guys. Make sure you hit that like button. Some more people join the Undead Blocks party. And we have here a question about Primus Nexus, which is asking, what's the schedule to split the 40K amongst players? Will all NFT holders earn something, no matter how good or bad they are?
Correct. Everyone's going to earn. I mean, honestly, if you ask me, I believe we're going to make some changes to the programming. Instead of doing one $40,000 event, I think we're going to do back-to-back weekends of $20,000. So we want to do it twice, because some people did reference concern that, you know, they're on vacation on the weekends, and we've been building up serious hype for this event. We don't want it to just be gone in a flash of a pan. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to split up the competition into two back-to-back weekends, 20,000 apiece, and everyone that participates is going to earn. So right now we have 2,000 holders. That's two $20,000 events. We're about an average of $10 a holder right now is where we're looking in terms of what people are going to be able to earn. But yeah, we're going to have them scale up. First place will win $1,000. It'll be exponentially distributed from there, but we will ensure that every single NFT holder, if they play and participate and complete the challenge that we're offering, which is the speed run, they're going to be able to earn something.
Okay, so basically this gold ZBux is going to be distributed during the weekend, is that it?
Yes. Yep. And so we're thinking either 24 or 48-hour tournament where you have to clock your fastest time. That's essentially how we want to get this done. And from our perspective, we want to do speed running because we don't want people to just sit around for 3-4 hours and try to camp right now. We know that's coming. We want people to feel light and on their feet. That's why speed running works for us. But yeah, everybody's going to be able to earn. So George is going to be able to put his assassin pack to the test. And if he finishes in first place, he's walking away with $1,000 cash, which is $10,000 in gold ZBux. We will have the functionality to swap for whatever currency George wants: Ethereum, BNB, Solana, even Undead token. And then he can just immediately withdraw from his wallet, go on his way. And so that was huge for our community too. They didn't want to have to just sit on the assets they earn and have to slowly withdraw them. So that's, from our perspective, you know, making sure we have the proper treasury management. But I really like that model because you should be able to withdraw immediately what you earned, and every single person will earn in the speedrunning competition in June.
With your speedrunning, Grant. Oh, sorry to interrupt you, Bruno.
No, it's okay.
Speedrunning what? So I know what I should be practicing, because I managed to get
killing the zombies as fast as you can, George. Kill them as fast as you can. So if you really want to practice for this, So we're thinking it's going to be a little different than rounds. It's the zombies are going to come based on an algorithm, and I think you're going to have to kill 100 zombies as fast as you can. We haven't, don't quote me on that number. I think it's going to be 100 or 250. But yeah, there's going to be a little timer in the top left corner. It's going to start immediately when the game starts, and you're going to have to go around the map and kill zombies 100 times or 250 times. And then as soon as you kill the last one, the timer's going to stop. It's going to show where you are on the leaderboard. It's basically like Formula One time trials. How fast can you get through the challenge?
Okay, so during the week, we're going to have these events. What about during the week? Are we also having like a leaderboard and some way of earning during the week?
Well, when the full game goes live, yeah, we're going to have those daily leaderboards where people are going to earn every day from different challenges. We're going to keep it fresh. We'll have like a schedule on our website with what challenges are going on for the full game. But for these beta tournaments, we're really just focusing on the weekends. That's when we're seeing most of the engagement from gamers. And so we would like to do a beta tournament a weekend or beta tournament every other weekend leading up to the full game. It's just a matter of just coming up with, the ideas and the sponsors. It's actually more so the ideas. We've had a lot of demand for sponsored tournaments because people say, wow, I can get just my weapon skin and my branding for the weekend. And it's, 10,000 for a tournament, sign me up. So, we've had a lot of demand for these tournaments. It's just a matter of keeping them fun and fresh too. But when the full game goes live, end of July, early August, yes, every single day you're going to be fighting on those leaderboards because it'll be like Hunger Games shit, where you're going to be able to just keep going back and forth. It depends on the day. It might be speed running, might be survival of the fittest, might be royale, duos. We're going to mix it up, and you guys are all going to cry because of the amount of different game modes we're going to put out there, and we're just going to keep it fun and fresh.
Okay, that's really interesting. I think getting quite hyped about it. So we've seen the solo beta mode, which is the one that is available right now, right? So when can we play with our friends?
We are actively working towards multiplayer squads mode. I would say we're a couple months away from that, and it's just because the map is very heavy when you try to add more players. We're still working on finalizing the voice lines for all three of our other characters. But the actual mechanics in Unity are built, which is really good. And, what we have to clean up is making sure the headsets work, making sure that our servers can handle different areas of the country logging onto the same game, making sure that the map does not get slow, the polygons do not overwhelm the map, and making sure that it's fun too. So I still say we're a couple months away. I would love to continue to increase and accelerate that timeline, but we want to do it right as well. I think that's going to be a game mode that we launch on the full game. We'll probably do lots of vigorous testing beforehand, probably a month before we launch it too. So we'll get you guys in that close testing group, but we're close. I'd say, the worst is behind us in terms of the game dev, the machine, the mechanics are built. It's just a matter of scaling and optimizing for some of these lower end machines.
So actually, I got like a question which is about the characters. I'm actually glad you touched that, which is we've seen characters that have different rarities. So our character is going to be like NFTs, or how are we going to be able to?
Eventually, we are going to have character NFTs. For the first season, we only have 4 heroes: those Jasper, Mask, Eva, and Lucas. But as we add more characters into the ecosystem, eventually they are going to become rare and they're going to have different powers, whether they're going to be able to be more accurate or run faster or give you special abilities. But I'd say we're going to save that for more of a season 2, season 3 Undead Blocks. You guys hear the thunder in the background. It's currently raining here in New York. Wow, they didn't really like that comment. But yeah, we don't want to give the public everything right away. We think, once people start earning and they're able to really get into the ecosystem, then we can start dropping these cool, like limited edition weapons or character skins, like you said, cosmetics, stuff like that, all purchasable in Undead token. And it really is just another way for us to generate revenue and continue to have the ecosystem thrive.
That's nice. So you mentioned like squads game mode is coming in the next months. So what's going to be the next feature that you're going to
do? The next feature,
mall map, perhaps.
Well, we're still working on the mall map. If you see how long it's taken us to get through the neighborhood, the mall map is going to be epic, and it's going to be 3 floors. There's going to be power. There's going to be a cinema with a movie theater, food court. So that is the next map. But I would say squads is the next feature. Of course, also cleaning up the single player beta issues we're having. But really, for us, it's honestly we're working on the WAG UI, making sure that the lending is working. We're working on the lending every single day, testing things out. Where if George has his assassin pack, he can lend it to Bruno gasless through an activation code, just through a click of a button, rather than having to physically transfer the NFT on the blockchain. I think that is our top priority. And once we execute that, even if we're looking at a doomsday scenario where multiplayer gets pushed back a little bit, we can still release the game, because that's really where a lot of our NFT holders are looking to make their money, is passive income through lending the NFTs. And we're very close. You can actually see on the website, it's almost as simple as just clicking a button, clicking rent, typing in your parameters, sending off an activation code to somebody. But that's going to be the next feature, I believe, that we're going to release to the public. And I think once that happens, we're going to be in a very good spot to release the full game.
That's cool. So what about you, George? What's hyping you more about Undead Blocks?
I've actually got a question off of exactly what Grant has just said here, to do with lending and fees. We built out our own lending system for Crypto Fight Club, and our main complaint is our fees are considerably lower than everybody else because we're BSC chain, so we're not getting wrecked by Ethereum. So I think the fee is maybe $6, but obviously people still don't like to pay any money to lend out their stuff. But how have you built into yours when the lender or the borrower, has their guns from somewhere? And is there a way to do a split like the Axie Infinity style of splitting the SLP? How's yours going to work? Because we've built ours so that it does it automatically. Is that what you're going for? Or are you going through the Axie nonsense of you have to do an Excel sheet?
So there is no Axie bullshit here. Nobody loves the way that Scholar stuff goes. Look, without Axie, I'm not sitting here in front of today. All respect in the world to Axie.
True, yeah.
From our perspective, you're going to be able to click a button, and it's going to say, how long do you want to rent it? You're going to have a choice of a day, 3 days, a week, a month, or unlimited. Keep it simple, 5 options. And since the earning is daily, where it resets every single day, the daily leaderboards, the 24-hour time frame works well for us. You're also going to be able to set the split, which how much do you receive as the asset holder? And I believe we're going to put a restriction in there that you can't do more than 50%. So people aren't trying to, wow, that was a really good blast. I believe the maximum you're going to be able to split it is 50-50, where you could do 90-10, where you keep 10, the asset holder the borrower earns 90. We don't want it to get to the point where people are trying to rent it themselves for like a 90-10. So we actually have like a drop down, or you could either choose a drop down, you could type in your own number, and then it will automatically calculate the split. You'll be able to click send. The activation code then goes to the email of the Wagyu account that you are trying to lend it to. And at the end of every day, you're going to get an email. And the email is going to say, how much did my scholar make? How much did I make? How much did they play? How did they place? And there's going to be a lot more analytics. How many kills did they have? Like, what was their screen time? So there's going to be a lot that the actual asset holder has available to them. It's just a matter of making sure when you click and send that activation code, can the person physically access the NFT? Because the full technology to recognize the NFT in your wallet is built. If you guys log on to the beta, you can see the skins that you have on your packs. But how do we make sure that when we lend it, that same feature happens through the activation code? That is really the last step to all this.
Okay, so both in Crypto Fight Club and Undead Blocks, what happens if like a scholar is not playing? How do you guys work with that? Do you have like a
if a scholar is not playing, that's the risk. Where if the scholar is not playing, you can't just revoke right now. And it's something where we're considering adding like a revoke button, where if somebody is not physically playing, my honest recommendation would be to keep your contracts at a day, if that's something you're worried about. Or since you can set unlimited, find a scholar you know and you trust from some of these other play to earn games, and then rent it to them unlimited. You can always, with the unlimited option, pull it back at any time. But for those expiring contracts, we don't want this to become a scenario where if you hold your asset and you gave it to somebody and you put them on for 3 days, and day one, you're like, well, they're not earning what I want, reclaim it. It's not going to be a really good experience for the person that's renting the asset. So it is a little bit of give and take. Honestly, I think it's going to take us launching the game and seeing how the player activity and behavior is functioning before we make any changes to that. But at least that's how I see it.
What about CFC? Do we have a revoke button, George?
We've got a reclaim button. We did have the timed one similar to what Grant had, but we took it out because obviously people would then get worried that they had paid the same gas fee to rent for 1 day as they would pay the same gas fee to rent unlimited because we are doing our lens on chain. So we took that out, but you do have a reclaim button, and we've got a built into our dashboard. Recently, after the lending went out, was the ability to see how many chickens these people have been catching. And if they're catching 0 chickens, you hit that reclaim, you can bring it back. Obviously, that costs you a small amount of gas because all our work is doing on chain. I think it's very smart to be able to do this off of chain, but we like the idea of how the asset was moved through the chain and everyone could monitor it that way and keeping everything on chain for the transparency of it. But yeah, I like the idea with what Grant's doing with it off chain, but you definitely have a good point there of if there is a reclaim button and somebody thinks they're doing amazing at your game, but the asset holder thinks they're doing terrible and they could get someone else better and reclaim off you after a day, that's not going to be a nice experience for the
exactly
or whoever they are.
I will, George, I will say if we were going to go on chain, it would be BSC 100%. I mean, you're seeing right now from Ethereum. I mean, my God, the gas fees are insane. And, you know, there has been some rumblings, perhaps more to come, where we eventually do split out and go multi-chain, where we even put some Undead token on BSC network. So more to come. Obviously, it's some discussions we've been having as a team, but I would have went BSC 100% if we planned on putting the lending on net. We could not make this work on Ethereum at all. And you're right. Look, if it's all about expectations. If somebody feels like they invested and they're not getting enough from their scholar, they shouldn't be able to just click the revoke button because the scholar is not performing. Now, if the scholar is physically not playing, that is like, okay, come on, I want somebody to physically play. But if you lent it to somebody and they're struggling, as the asset owner, like that should be your risk. Like it should be on you. The onus should be on you to find somebody that's good at the game. Likewise, if you own a home, you should probably try to find a tenant that is going to take care of your property. So it's always a balance. And the cool thing is I am judge, jury, and executioner. And if I see people abusing it, I can change it. So you know, but I don't want to do that. Obviously, I want to keep our asset holders very happy. Those that have the NFTs, help the ecosystem thrive. And we're going to do everything in our power to make sure that they have what they need to make their lending a successful experience.
I'm actually curious why BSC and not Polygon, for example. They also have low fees.
Well, BSC is a massive community. I think Polygon is still growing. I think from our perspective, we want to sell the game, not sell a new chain or sell an integration. Those are very tough to sell at the same time. Even if you look at something like Solana, there's a couple games on there, a couple shooters that look fantastic, but they're running into the issue of having to sell the chain more so than having to sell the game. That's why we chose Ethereum, was basically set it and forget it. Nobody doubts us. The only thing they say is gas fees are whack. If we chose BSC, it would be relatively the same thing, except for the, you know, gas fees aren't whack on BSC. But BSC has so many retail investors and so many, like such a large community. It's an easy sell. It's just, you know, I can't be in every place at once. I would rather set it and forget it with the blockchain technology and focus all my efforts on showing Web2 gamers why this is the future.
Okay, really
I completely agree with Grant there. I was telling Bruno just before we went live, there is a game on Solana that I just haven't tried because I am too lazy to set up a Solana wallet and send myself
it's
money.
Honestly true. Yeah,
well,
I mean, look,
time.
Meta Ops looks really good on Solana. That's another shooter that looks strong. But like, I mean, you got to create a Phantom network account. And a lot of people just don't want to do it. Okay, like I get it. I can see why people are going this direction. If you have all the time in the world, unlimited time, sure, great. But like, we realize that the clock is ticking, and there are going to be lots of other games coming out. And so, from our perspective, we have to sell this game. We have to show people the value. We have to make it fun. I can't spend all of my time talking to people why Solana or why Avalanche or just these other chains that they might have better technology. I completely agree, but we're a video game. Like, we're not really, even by taking the reward system off chain, a lot of people aren't dealing with gas unless if they want to buy the token or buy the NFTs. And so once you do that, you're in the ecosystem, we're trying to make it set and forget it. So there's always going to be back and forth and engagement. I think BSC would be our second choice, but I'm curious from the members in the audience. Like, if you guys have comments, put them in the chat. What do you guys think about other chains and technology or potential integrations? Happy to listen to any and all thoughts. This is really an open-ended discussion.
Yeah, let us know, guys. So we have here a question for George right now. George, when Fight the Bear in a Crypto Fight Club? And maybe tell us a bit more about your project.
Okay, so yeah, Fight the Bear is still under development. I'm glad I've got Grant here, who is also developing a game that sometimes timelines do not stick to what they initially planned to be. So that is currently what is happening with Fight the Bear. We are extremely close to having our game to release for everybody. My main thing is the first time you play a game, that is your first impression. If your first impression sucks, people are not going to come back to your game because they hear that it's done a No Man's Sky and suddenly become an awesome game. You have killed too many people's first impressions. So rather, we have delayed Fight the Bear to make sure that it's going to be the good first impression, so we don't have to try and lure people back to play it. But yeah, Fight the Bear is going to be our next thing coming out for our game. We recently did a load of updates on our current minigame, which is a chicken run. If none of you have tested it out, there are many NFTs that you can borrow off of other people. Basically, it's off of a Muay Thai training strategy in the north of Thailand, where most of us are based out of. And they basically just let chickens go on a farm, and the fighters have to run around them and catch them. And if there's one chicken less than the amount of fighters going, then that person has to do a forfeit of going on extra laps or doing more press-ups. But yeah, for the question to me, Fight the Bear is coming soon. Don't you worry, it will be a fun game to play, and it will be answering the question of how do you have a fighting game without any fighting? You will be able to cause some animal abuse and punch bears. Don't you worry, everybody.
George is exactly right. You can't release something and then try to say, oh, wait, we released it too early. Here, wait for us to put in some more features. We had a couple comments in our Discord. When's the next update? Like, we just released the beta on Thursday. On Saturday, people were already clamoring for an update. And like you said, it's all about expectations. The bar is set so unbelievably low right now in play to earn. You have to give people time. You have to give them time to really show their stuff and show the amount of creativity. And you know, even with Fight the Bear, I mean, it's coming, guys. Like, it's not something that, you know, you're just going to get a teaser and you're never going to get a game. There are two spectrums right now to play to earn, where you have these, you know, web browser based games like Axie that aren't very fun. It's just yield farming, but yeah, you can earn. And then you have the other side, which is these AAA monoliths that show you a teaser and it looks great and it's this open world experience. And you know, these founders get rich off the NFTs and the tokens, and they never end up developing a game at all. And so you really have to put a balance in there. You have to give the community something that is fun and engaging and shows that you know what you're doing, with also leaving it open-ended to say, we have lots of room to grow. And I think George and his team are doing that exactly perfectly to plan. Yeah,
Grant, you've touched on something there that I try and remind everybody. I'm a hardcore gamer, been gaming since I was like 9, even earlier, and I'm like 34 now, so that's a ridiculous amount of time. But people that aren't in the gaming space and are more in the crypto space, they're falling for the oldest trick that any of us that are gamers have learned a long time ago: never trust pre-rendered trailers. Yes. If you've got to trust a game, you're trusting in-game footage. So yeah, I completely agree with that. And the model of current NFT games are, they've either brought a Web 2 game over and somehow shoehorned NFTs into it. So it's an existing product that they're linking NFTs to, which, yeah, makes for a great game. Or the other games coming out are all the card-based games. And I know there's plenty of us out there that are not interested in remembering like 50 different cards and what they're going to do to our characters. I don't have the brain.
No, thank you. For that. I mean, guys, look what's happening to Steppen right now. It's the same old Ponzi-nomics. People are getting burned and they wonder why. How could this possibly happen? It's the same system that just keeps repeating itself. That's why Undead Blocks is trying to change that by actually generating revenue like a business. People look at our model, wow, it's revolutionary. Guys, it's really not. You just generate revenue, use it to pay players. Fortnite, a free-to-play game, they make billions off of skins, cosmetics, and animations as they pay their developers with it and take profits. We want to do the same thing, except instead of paying ourselves, we pay our players, and we get incentivized by the token. So another one, you're looking at Goblin Town. Again, and these are, I'm not anti-shilling these projects. This is just for my advice, no financial advice here whatsoever, nowhere in 50 miles. But Goblin Town, the team is not doxxed. The team is, it's really run up. I think the floor now is at 8 ETH, and everybody's saying, oh, it's going to be different now. These guys clearly know what they're doing because, they're marketing geniuses and they're not doxing themselves. And again, I can't tell you what's going to happen to Goblin Town. I could be completely wrong, but fellas, we've seen this story before, this time old age. And just, I want people to know out there, be smart. Like, look at people that are willing to go on camera like George and myself and say, if you're willing to put your entire career and your personality on the line, you've probably got something invested here. Instead of hiding behind, ugly looking goblins. I don't want to offend anybody if you have one. Congrats on the run up if you do, but you just see it every single day and people fall for the same patterns in this space. And I think that's why a lot of people are sick of it. But Undead Blocks is here to change that model. I'm sure Crypto Fight Club is as well, because we're ready to rock and roll and change this industry for the better.
Yeah, I definitely just want to comment on that one of the first things I noticed on Undead Blocks when I was looking into it before this connection was made was that you have the LinkedIn links there. And I recently, yesterday, invested in another project just because they had their LinkedIn identities on their website. So I knew that these people have put themselves out here. We know who they are. They're not random anons on the internet selling me a game. If something goes wrong, their credibility is on the line because they have linked their whole career portfolio to their website and their project. So I'm definitely team.
Oh, absolutely. Sure, I mean, I can't guarantee people 100x, right? Like, I can't manipulate the market, but I want people to know, look, this game is coming. I will show you the utility. I will show you why we are going to be simply exponential in terms of what we're doing with our model, our tokenomics, and then the market will decide what it decides. I think, we are in a bear market. I'm looking at GameFi as it could not be hotter. It could not be perfect for a bear market, because if you're looking at the macroeconomic view of things, a lot of people around the world are going to lose their jobs. I mean, a lot of people are going to look at play to earn as, can this be something that can be a daily income driver for me? And through either another pandemic or just the shift to more digital, where people are staying inside, hanging out with their friends in these digital communities, being on Twitch, Facebook, Theta TV, having an FPS game that's a lot of fun to watch and stream and hang out on multiplayer with your friends, that surely is going to take off in this market. So I could not be more excited. I appreciate the kind words, George, and we're just ready to keep on building and keep on working.
So I would say that maybe NFT Gaming could be like the next trigger for the next bull run.
Oh, absolutely. I see no reason why I can't.
Bring like mass adoption, definitely, because
how are you going to, Bruno, how are you going to mass adopt a lot of people that are right now know nothing about Bitcoin or Ethereum? Like, how are you going to sell them on something like Divi or PokeStarter or Avalanche? Like, people are going to look at you and say, I have no idea what you're talking about. But they can look at a game like Undead Blocks and say, wow, it looks a lot like COD Zombies. I played COD Zombies in college. Oh, it's free to play and they're offering a tournament this weekend. I'm going to go out, play. Oh, wow, PokeStarter sent me $20. I'm going to go Google, what is PokeStarter? And then bam, all of a sudden they're right in our ecosystem. That's why gaming has an opportunity to be so powerful, because if you look at the Venn diagram between gamers and crypto people, that Venn diagram is about this wide. It's literally nothing. So there's a huge opportunity in the world for it, and it's just going to take the right game, and I really think Undead Blocks is going to be the one that really brings us there.
I think one of the things that sorry, Bruno again. Poor Bruno trying to talk all the time. I think one point that could be added to that, Grant, as well, is I've spent maybe £3,000 of League of Legends skins. That's just for a skin in a game. If that skin is sold to me as an NFT and I own that skin, even if that game goes away, and I can sell that skin on later, even if the game dies out or they make a new game where that skin can be used and I can sell that as an NFT, that is one of the easiest links for gamers to get into the blockchain. Is you're already paying for skins, you're paying for boosts, you're paying for subscriptions in your games. If these are physically, well, not physically, virtually on the blockchain, and is something that you can see and track and can be moved to other games or into other areas and using the same stuff through collaboration, then gamers are going to love that. Because I don't want to spend 3,000 in League of Legends, and I've recently started playing Dota 2. I've bought skins in that already. If I had skins I could have brought over with me, that would have been fantastic.
Yeah. How about battle passes and DLC packs? Even like we want to do an Undead Battle Pass where people can get access to things that all they have to do is hold X amount of Undead token. They can, once they sell that token, they just lose access to the pass. So you're not actually paying money. You're just investing in the ecosystem for the opportunity to use that pass. But if you buy a Fortnite battle pass, as soon as the season's over, you're not getting that money back. It's a mindset thing. It's, you invest in the NFT, you don't want to play anymore, you can sell it to the next one. Like you said, if game fizzles out, of course, Undead Blocks eventually is going to see its day, but we're going to take those NFTs and either transfer them over to our next game or say everyone that's holding an NFT in this game gets a free one for the next one. So that's exactly how you keep the train going, even with some of these skins that become legendary. Just have them applicable in the next game that is going to be, the iteration of how you keep a story going. COD Zombies lasted 15 years, boys, 32 maps. That's really the staying power we have for this game. It's just a matter of delivering on the first one and really continuing to leverage our scale, make it fun and fresh. But like George said, there's just so much opportunity for revenue. And I also think it's extremely disrespectful for people to say that these games should only be mobile games. Like, people all over the world have computers. Let's not act like everybody's dirt porn doesn't have a computer. Like, a lot of people just want to play on a console or on their computer and keyboard and mouse. And we want to recruit as many of those individuals into our ecosystem as possible.
Yeah, I would say that's maybe a key feature here is that maybe you try to mix Web2 gamers with Web3 gamers. So
yeah,
there's like products like Infinite Fleets, maybe Undead Blocks is like this too, where you don't need to have any knowledge about crypto to enjoy the game. And like this, you're actually hitting to different audiences, which is that Web2 with the Web3. And I think that's really smart. That's something that definitely can drive the next bull markets.
Yeah, one of the main ones that I've seen doing that is EVIO, if you guys are aware of that one, a Counter-Strike type game that originally started, and they've just shoehorned NFTs onto it. So that's, if you were already in that space in that game, you've then now seen, oh wait, I could pay for this skin and I own the NFT and sell it on later. But I believe they were another Solana networked one that I lazied out on and didn't fully go in on.
So we have here some questions from the community, guys. Welcome to everyone new here. Make sure you hit that like button. Really happy to have you here with us. And we have a question from it's Brennan Harris. Grant, when can we see an Undead token being listed on a major exchange?
Good question. I mean, of course, I can't comment on official dates. I will say, discussions are happening every day with different exchanges, different alpha groups, different communities, NFT groups. We have a lot going on behind the scenes. And so don't be surprised if you see something in the future leading up to the full game launch. I think GameFi couldn't be hotter in terms of what these exchanges want to list. Of course, I can't comment on any specifics, but it is something we are actively looking into, and you guys should know that from us. That is something that, of course, we would love to expand on. But once the deals are finalized that we look to close, we will give you guys all of that information as it comes.
That's cool. That's cool. So now I have a question for both of you. Since you guys are like developers and you're like behind big NFT gaming projects, which is, do you guys think that after a game, like for example, Axie or PegXie, where their utility tokens fell below 1 cent of a dollar, do you think that there's like a chance that these projects can never recover? If you consider that the price is below 1 cent and that there are people who are holding like millions of these?
Well, George, you go first. No, you go first.
Okay, I'll go first.
George, you go first.
Okay, the main thing with this is I'm not gonna lie. With the Undead Blocks, not fully versed on your tokenomics. I'm more of a game guy and that sort of stuff, but I've got basic understanding. The main problem that the ones you've stated there is they've got that secondary currency or their in-game currency that is infinitely mintable. That will always lose value. If something can be infinitely minted just by playing a game, that token will always lose value. I think games can recover if their token goes low, if there is a fixed supply of that token. If you're only going to be able to have this amount of token, yeah, the price is low now, but if the game gets more popular, the price is going to go up. If your token can infinitely mint and the price is low and your game gets popular, it's going to get lower because you're going to mint more. So I think if there is more of a fixed supply of these in-game tokens, it's going to work out well. Another one that has been looked at, is like Grant's mentioned with his one that is the off-chain token, is if you have an in-game currency that has gotten either a set value or no value and is used the same way, that it builds up in a game to like add to your XP or add to your boost or something that you have in the game. If your token price has gone low and people are still using this other one, I think it's easier way to recover. Because I believe Axie is actually on the recovery now, since they've been adding some new stuff from what I've been reading, and their token price went down hard. So I think it's always possible. If your game is good enough and you've got a community behind you, you can always come back. But the problem is there's a lot of games that built themselves off of hype. Their token has then died off to the ditch. Those games will struggle to come back, personally, in my opinion.
I would agree with that. I think every token has its day. I think, look, everyone's always looking for entry points, especially for something like Axie. Like George said, if they're going to execute and make a lot of changes to the tokenomics model, or even through their Axie Builders program, if they're able to leverage more scale on the Ronin network, I see no reason why it can't start pumping again. I think it's all about utility, like utility. And I know that sounds vague, but you have to be able to use the token for something. Like the reason why Bitcoin is so popular is because it has become a store of value. But every altcoin has their thing, whether it's privacy controls or, Ethereum not only being able to invest just in the ecosystem, but use it for lots of the top tier NFT projects. You're looking at some of the other tokens, the security protocols. So you got to have a claim to fame. You can't just launch a token and say, here it is. Like with Undead, we know this. We've known this since day one, and that's why we're really developing this battle pass where people hold the token and they can then get access to things, or they can use the token to buy, whether those limited edition weapons or skins or cosmetics, stuff like that. But I see no reason why they can't bounce back. You just have to make sure it's not necessarily about the token, in my perspective. It's the daily active user count of the players that are playing your game, because if there are people still engaging the ecosystem and talking about it, we'll never die. And then eventually there is opportunity for that buy pressure because you have scale. You now have a large community. And that's what Axie has going for it, where if they do make an announcement, they have 1 million, 2, 3 million people in their different ecosystem channels that can see the announcement and potentially put buy pressure on their token. So really, it's just a matter of getting communities of scale, in my opinion, and just leveraging that to make key business decisions, which can increase the value of your token, your NFTs. I think that's really as simple as it can be.
Okay, really interesting. So I want to hear about you, George. Like, what are the tokenomics of Crypto Fight Club, and what's your strategy for a long-term self-sustained economy?
One of the main things that our tokenomics has that other people's does not is our NFT and token lock feature. So lots of people have got staking. But the problem with staking is you're committed. Like if you stake for 5 years, you're committed or you're taking a penalty. Our main point that we're using our staking is you can stake your token inside your fighter. So say Grant stakes for 5 years. He puts all his tokens or his LP inside his fighter. But then suddenly, oh no, his fridge broke and he needs to buy a new fridge. But all his money's locked in a stake. He can sell the NFT with the stake inside it to somebody else. Then he doesn't take a penalty for losing the stake. He can tell the person, look, we're looking on the staking dashboard. I've earned 10,000 fight inside this fighter already. I'll sell you the fighter for this much plus 10,000 fight, and then you can keep going on the stake. That way, no one takes a penalty of losing out of their stake. It's one of the first ones that we've seen or we know about of a transferable stake through the fact that it's locked inside your NFT itself. One thing that has happened with this, unfortunate for some people, great for others, is when they have bought their fighter off a secondary market, they've then found a stake inside it. I got my brother quite deep into Crypto Fight Club, and I think this has happened twice to him already, where he's bought a fighter off of a secondary market and he's had a full 1 year, 5,000 stake in both of them, which has already covered the cost of his fighter. So I think that's one of the main things we're seeing within our tokenomics that I've not seen anywhere else, is a transferable stake locked within your NFT. So I think that's one of the main points we're doing different, as Grant would have put it, our claim for fame and the thing we're trying to do different in our token that people need. So it's just not a token the same way you earn gold in, say, like Warcraft. That's what a lot of these tokens come out as, and then it's got no use outside of the game, and then that will just always add to sell pressure.
So what you're saying, George, is you basically you're selling cars with a full tank of gas.
Basically, you can do that if you want to swap your.
And especially with how much gas is these days, it might be worth more than the car.
Basically, for sure. At the mint price of our fighters before they all minted out was 2,000 fight. So if you find one with a full stake of 5,000 fight inside it, that's the equivalent of 2.5 fighters inside a fighter that you have bought. So obviously, it's unfortunate for the poor fellow that sold it, but very fortunate for the secondary buyer. So anyone that does sell your NFTs for Crypto Fight Club, please check it's not your ones with the stake inside before you do it. Otherwise, you could be underselling yourself massively.
That's cool. That's cool. That's a nice feature. I think we need this. We need new ideas in the NFT gaming space. And you guys definitely did that when you actually can stake fight tokens inside your NFTs. So Grant, we have here a question from Brennan Harris. When launcher?
They're coming. That's the next iteration of the beta. Eventually, we want to get those Apocalypse collections in there so you can get those grenade launchers working in the RPGs. But I mean, right now we're still getting some feedback from the Genesis collections. We revamped all the sounds for all the. Frankly, we didn't think the sounds were any good. So all the weapons now have new sounds. The grenades are going to be going in. And then from there, we'll have the RPGs. We're going to have the grenade launchers. We're going to have the baseball bat, the fire axe. So those are going to be the next. And then eventually you will see all the other weapons that you can see in the armory that are currently locked. But we're getting close. This is going to be an Undead summer. We're really excited about the opportunity to bring you guys this game and allow you to use all these different weapons and be able to earn. You're actually going to feel like I said, at times you forget you're earning. You're just having fun playing a zombie shooter and running for your fucking life.
Oh yeah, everyone loves to shoot zombies.
I have a question for Grant. Sorry, Bruno.
Oh, George, I'm all ears, buddy.
I was just saying it's a good stress relief to shoot zombies. You know, it's a nice therapy. Okay, go ahead, George.
Sure. That's a good stress relief, and you're not going to make a baby from it. So for Bruno, it's 100%.
For a good-looking fashion guy in his shirt.
The Bruno's shirts for these AMAs are just unmatched. I'm surprised if he walked outside right now, he'd be swarmed with just females, and we wouldn't be able to get through this interview. So thanks for staying inside.
The zebra one was the last one, and that was fire. I enjoyed that.
Okay,
making a name for himself.
Thanks for the compliments.
Okay, back to crypto stuff and not just two men complimenting Bruno. My question for you, Grant, is firstly, is there a list of things you plan to change or that you're aware of that you might not be quite happy with in your game? And secondly, do you need more QA testers for your upcoming improvements to your game?
Well, I think we could always use more testers. And our community, those that have the Genesis collection, did get that opportunity to really test for us. But we have seen a sharp downtick in new glitches and bugs since we released. And the first day we released it, people were on the roof, and we're like, "How the fuck did you get up there?" People were finding different glitch spots and camp spots. And now what we're seeing is a lot of repeats. So I think we're in a good spot, but of course we could always use some QA testers. From our perspective, of course I want to clean up the map. Really what we want to do is focus on this lending integration, because once we nail the lending integration, even if we go full game and we can release the full game 2-3 weeks early and say, squads is coming, but bam, we can start now doing daily tournaments every single day with solo mode. That's a huge win for us. It's another 2-3 weeks early where people could start earning, and then we hit them with the squads, and then we hit them with zombie royales, and then new maps and new weapons. So honestly, from my perspective, we have delivered everything we have told our community we're going to deliver. It's just a matter of cleaning things up, refinement, and the issue to servers, right? Is we have been doing some testing, and once the first initial wave of people downloaded the game and were on, saw just a couple of people with a little bit of input lag, and that's stuff we want to clean up, because for these free to play public tournaments, like Ariana Grande held a Fortnite concert, 27.5 million people signed up for this. How many people are going to play for a free to play crypto tournament where you're going to be able to earn potentially $1,000? So, we don't know how many people are going to be downloading and playing the game. So we have to make sure that the servers can handle the workload. And that's really the only other thing I want to improve at this time. Of course, we want to add more maps, weapons, and features. But like I said, the bar for play to earn is so historically underserved. We could deliver this game tomorrow. And once people start earning it, we'll blow people out of the water.
Yeah. Agreed.
So we have another question from Brennan Harris. In-game store, Grant, which currency are we going to use? Gold ZBux or what?
Gold ZBux is going to be everything for the in-game store. So, but you can use Undead token to acquire other things like limited edition. Like if we were going to partner with a influencer or celebrity to do a weapon pack, maybe we give away like 100. That would be something you'd use Undead token to burn Undead token for. I'm thinking different cosmetics. Like if somebody wanted, if we did like an auction for a gold weapon, like we realize nobody's pulled, a gold F1 yet. Eventually we're going to give one away, and maybe we have a charity auction for the gold skin, and you have to bid Undead token. Stuff like that we can use the Undead token for, but for the store itself is that gold ZBucks, because every gold ZBuck that is burned is money we don't pay out to our players in another currency, which helps the sustainability model even more. We want to give people as many ways as possible to burn those gold ZBucks so they can use them in the game to have fun, more so than getting paid. Of course, we want to pay our players, but any dollar or gold ZBuck that's burned is a dollar we don't have to pay out, which just increases the longevity of us exponentially.
That's smart, actually. In-game utility, which is what creates demands and buying pressure. So, Grant, when Undead Merc Store? Here from KG.
Everybody wants this hoodie that I got on. I tell you what, if you guys are hanging out in Consensus next weekend for the for the crypto conference or NFT NYC, I'll have some hoodies on me. But we'll probably do hoodies for Gold ZBucks. Expect more soon on that. It's funny because every other NFT project in the book starts with merch as their big utility. Wow, I can make a fucking hoodie. And so it's something we just haven't done. So we'll get it done. We'll eventually get the merch out there. You guys can rock your swag. Same with like a teaser, like George said, everyone launches their teaser first and everyone goes, wow, this is just huge. And then they release the game and it's just like pixelated characters. And you're like, what the fuck happened? It's just a time old age. So yeah, we're going to get you guys merch soon. I can assure you that. Of course I want that. I want people rocking our brand, but we've been spending a lot of time building the game. So we'll get there. I'd say stay patient. Maybe in a month or so, we'll have things moving where you guys can start buying some of our merch.
Well, that's smart. Once again, more utility for gold ZBucks.
That's the key, Bruno.
Utility for the in-game assets.
Maybe Bruno can send us some shirts we can put on our website for gold ZBucks.
Yeah, maybe I can trade some of these.
Designer.
I can trade some of these for some expensive NFTs if you guys want, because this is like a limited edition. Because I wore it, so it has it has more value because it was worn by Bruno himself.
His shirt reminds me of, do you remember the Dead Island trailer from back in the day?
Yes.
The guy was on the zombie island in that shirt. That is exactly what I'm thinking.
So it's appropriate for these moments. It's appropriate for these moments since we're talking about zombies here.
Oh my.
So Grant, when full game release from Brennan Harris again?
He loves us. Brennan Harris.
This guy's hammering him with questions.
Appreciate you. We're targeted for late July, early August. We haven't pivoted off that date. Like I said, it's going to take about 2 months to get the multiplayer rolling, and once the multiplayer is in, we're going to be full speed ahead. So until then, though, we're going to start these beta tournaments in June. So you're not just sitting around waiting for us to do our jobs. We're going to give you guys ways to earn through the $40,000 pistol speedrun competition in June, and then we're also going to have the free to the public tournaments sponsored by Polka Starter, sponsored by a couple others. We're going to be doing a tournament through Volt Inu, which is meme coin, Kiba Inu, and we have some other sponsors lined up behind the scenes that we are going to be announcing shortly for some of these free to play to the public beta tournaments, and then eventually those tournaments will morph into the battle pass, where you have to have the Undead battle pass to be able to participate, and they will be fully sponsored through some of the friends of Undead Blocks. So yeah, I'd say still late July, early August is where we want to go fully live with this thing.
Okay, cool. When you said that we were going to have that summer, you really meant it.
Yeah, like I said, I've been doing AMA since December, and we've been saying, we wanted to do late June. We got pushed back a little bit because of the war in Ukraine, but for the most part, the gameplay mechanics are in a good spot. What you guys are feeling, you're saying this is an actual fucking video game. And so from our perspective, it's just nailing down the little details that really take it from being a 90% complete to 100% complete. The glitches, the bugs, the lending technology, the changes to the HUD where you have the speed running competition. And then we're going to be ready to go. Expect a huge marketing push as we lead up towards the full game. Like a lot of people are asking me in my Discord, like, when marketing? The best marketing that could ever happen for this game is somebody comes in and makes $1,000 in this pistol speed run. And they're going to tell their friends and their family. They might post it everywhere. I just made a rack playing a video game. No fucking way. And when we have those 2,000 holders, the NFT holders come in, some are going to say, I made $20, I made 10, I made 5, I made 30. And they're going to be posting the screenshots and tagging people online. And it's going to go viral because people are going to say, wow, there's actually a video game I can earn. Nobody would be talking about STEPN today if people physically weren't making money on STEPN. Once people started making $80, $90, $100 a day walking on STEPN, that's when you saw the explosive growth. Until people can actually earn in our game, they're going to be in wait and see mode. So like I've been saying, you guys cannot be earlier. We just launched our token 3 weeks ago. This is as early. If you've ever wanted to be early in something and not late, you are early to this dance. And there's a lot of room for us to grow. Obviously not financial advice, do your own research. But the day we pay somebody out big, that is the day that you're going to see Undead Blocks truly take over play to earn, because this is going to be an Undead summer.
So the whole Philippines are going to be playing Undead Blocks when that happens.
The whole country is just going to, every computer will be put to use. Argentina, Brazil, Venezuela, we have huge communities in these countries and they can't wait to play. But right now they're in wait and see. Like people will play the beta for free and say, wow, this is really cool. But let's be honest, fellas, it's a 5-round beta. Like you're not going to play it every day. It's just supposed to be a taste. But when we have these tournaments and we're physically paying out people and the lending technology is working, then we can put our money where our mouth is and say, okay, it's go time.
Yeah, your when marketing there is something we get comment a lot as well. But
man, it must be just bots at this point.
You're marketing, we're marketing, but there's no point in doing a big marketing push. It's like announcing an announcement. Oh, guys, we've got a game. Oh, do you? Yeah, it's coming in a couple of months. It's okay, why are you telling us about it now? If you've got a game, you need to have the game. If you're doing a big marketing push to get people to buy in and fund your game and it's not coming out for 3-4 months, then why are people going to do it? You might as well save your marketing for this game is active now. This man just made $1,000 playing it. Come play our game, which exists. And not just doing marketing of something may exist in the future. Come be with us now and it could happen.
George, you're exactly right. The tactics of scammers and pumpers no longer work in this market, where you can announce quote unquote news and all of a sudden your token just starts flying because any increase gets eaten up by the dip, right? People are very paper-handed right now, and I get that. This is not financial advice. This is just how I see things. And so we can put out announcement after announcement after announcement of what we're doing, who we're partnering with, any integrations we're making, and we could see some increase in buy pressure. But what is going to take this thing nuclear is, like you said, people start earning. Because in a bear market, if you can start earning passively from an asset, people are going to flock to you like a pigeon, like in New York, like in Times Square, because they're going to say, well, I'm not really making money anywhere else, but I can use this as passive income to generate and play a game and have fun and have a good time and get my scholars, get the gang back going. I mean, there are people I've spoken to in the Philippines that were renting out offices, entire office spaces playing Axie when they were making $40, $45 a day playing that game because SLP was at 40 cents. Now their SLP's at half a penny. It's not worth it for them to do this. But I can see people when they're playing Undead Blocks and somebody nails second place in the tournament, they get $500. I can see them renting out the offices again. They're like, okay, like let's get everybody now to start farming zombies because it's time to go. What other play to earn game can you physically cash that much money in a single day? All provided by sponsorship revenue to start. It's going to be something truly special to see, but we can't rush the development. Like I said, I truly believe we're 12 to 18 months ahead of other FPS competition. There are a couple others out there that look good, EV.io, MetaOps, but those are different genres for us. We want to dominate zombie culture. You don't need to speak a language to just click the trigger. And from our perspective, I really, truly believe that's where we're going to thrive. Paying out players, generating advertisement revenue, and just making this thing as sustainable as we possibly can.
I've got another question for Grant coming off of that. You're talking about the passive income you can make. For example, we've got our PvP and Metaverse coming out soon. the PvP and then link it into the metaverse, because everybody needs a metaverse. So we're going to have a metaverse as well. And one of the ways we're going to be doing the passive income in there is people will be able to buy their own slots, put their own gyms in there, and then people can pay to have their NFTs go to this gym, lift some weights, get hench, nug out, that sort of stuff, and improve their fighting ability. So the owners of the gym are going to make passive income through that, through people going to their gym. With Undead Blocks, is there a way, or do you plan to implement something like that? It's just because obviously without a metaverse, I can't see what you would do, but you're a big brain boy, so I assume you've got something up your sleeve in that regard.
Big brain boy. Well, look, we would like to get into the metaverse in terms of owning land and becoming an arms dealer and having areas where you could service your weapons. And from our perspective, we want to try to keep it as simple as we can. I love the idea. I think there's a lot of opportunity to scale, but I think from our model's perspective, we have enough on our plate where we want to basically partner with every coin and every NFT group out there in the world and have them at some point advertise on our game and use the weapons themselves as the generator for the interest. So it is something that we have considered, selling land. And, for example, one of the things we were touting was, do we sell plots of the map and put the ammo box in a specific spot where you could actually have somebody build on that plot of land. And if you have to continuously go back and forth to the ammo box, that piece of land is going to be worth more than just other pieces of land in the game. And you could have somebody build in like a poster or just something to interact with. For us, we just want to keep it simple. I think that would require a lot more dev work, but I fucking love the idea. I think, that's where we're moving. I believe that people want to be in a metaverse, not because they think it's cool, but because there's such an opportunity to build and create and establish your own land. It's literally like the Wild West was in the 1850s, where you just had a bunch of barren land and you're like, okay, what do we want to make out of this? So I think that's what really intrigues a lot of people. And I think it's something we should be privy to getting into in the future.
Yeah, fantastic.
Okay. Really interesting, really interesting. So maybe we're going to have land on the Undead Blocks. I think that's exciting also. So guys, I think I'm out of questions here. Also, our community have no more questions. So I think we're going to finish our AMA here because I'm quite late already. And we've been here for 1 hour. But guys, I love to have you here. Grant, big boy, it was a pleasure. George from Crypto Fight Club, it was a pleasure. Guys, make sure you subscribe. There are videos already about Crypto Fight Club and Undead Blocks on this channel. And we're also going to be streaming Undead Blocks from now on. So make sure you smash that subscribe button. Thanks all that watched the stream. And guys, see you in the metaverse.
Peace out.
George, it's a pleasure. Peace. Bruno, keep looking smooth.
Thanks for having me here, Bruno.